My name is Julian, and I'm here to talk to you about eating healthy outside the home and how you can make the best choices for you and your family. Just to go over a few things, the average calorie needs for a 2 to 3-year-old is about 1,000 to 1,200 calories. What that typically means is that compared to an adult, they're eating about half the serving size. So everything that you eat, your preschooler should eat about half that amount. Now, just to start, we have some tips at fast food restaurants. We're going to go over fast food restaurants and we're going to go over sit-down restaurants. So generally you want to choose low, no-calorie drinks. These are things such as water, club soda, seltzer water, which is basically carbonated water with no sugar, or even something like a skim milk or a low-fat milk. These are going to save you a lot of calories compared to sodas and juices. You also want to pick smaller portion food items. So, you might have 2 different burgers, but one's going to have a lot more calories than the other one. It's because it's a lot bigger. You can usually just choose a smaller size and save a lot of calories. You want to pick grilled over fried always. It's just a better cooking method. It doesn't add a lot of fat to the food like fried does. Fried can add many hundreds of calories to your food. You also want to go for the healthier side dishes. You would have something like French fries, which is not something you typically want to eat every time you're at a fast food restaurant. Maybe you can get a baked potato at some places like Wendy's, or even some fruit. A lot of these fast food restaurants are even offering fruit as a side. You want to watch out for the heavy sauces like the mayos. Some of the sauces that they put on their burgers are a mix of mayo and something else, and that's something you typically want to avoid. Maybe even ask for light sauce or no sauce. And always just need to substitute. If a burger comes with bacon on it and you could save a lot of calories by taking the bacon off, you can try to do that and save about 100 calories. So some tips for sit-down restaurants. Again, you want to go with the low, no-calorie drinks, your water, your seltzer, your milks. You want to start with a salad. Now, starting with a salad is a great choice because it lets you fill up on vegetables before you even start your meal. So, before you even get to your main entree, you feel a little bit fuller and a little bit more satisfied. You do want to watch it with the dressings though. So typically ask for dressings on the side when you're ordering a salad. Again, stay away from fried foods. Always choose broiled, baked, or grilled, which can be done for any meat. Again, ask for sauce on the side. It doesn't just apply to salads, it applies to all your dishes that you get. A lot of dishes in restaurants are very sauced because it adds a lot of flavor. But these flavor sauces also have a lot of calories. Always substitute. Again, if it comes with French fries, maybe ask for a salad or a vegetable with it. And if it's a big entree, you could always share it with your family members. It just cuts down on the calories a lot. And oftentimes people go to restaurants and they're feeling very full after they leave because the portions are so big. And don't be afraid to take a doggy back home. You could even plan to eat half of your entree and plan to take the other one home before you even start eating. So I'm going to go over what we're going to do for the next few slides. We're going to go over comparisons of 2 food items you can get at a restaurant and how they compare. So in this case, I'm comparing a fried chicken sandwich to a grilled chicken sandwich. Now, the sandwich on the left has cheese, bacon, ranch, and it's fried, compared to the sandwich on the right, which is just a grilled chicken. I think it does have some sort of dressing on it, but you're saving about 300 calories by removing the fried, the cheese, the bacon, and the ranch. That's a significant amount of calories. I mean, for your preschooler, if they were to eat the chicken on the left, that's about half your calories gone for that one meal. So Burger King, their usual Whopper sandwich, it's 650 calories. Compare that just to a regular hamburger, which is 230 calories. You could get almost 3 hamburgers for one Whopper sandwich. Look at the fat comparisons. There's 37 grams of fat to 9 grams of fat. A lot of it comes from the mayo. The Whopper sandwich, I believe, has mayo as opposed to the hamburger does not. What I'm also doing with these slides is I'm being a bit more realistic. I'm not just comparing, let's say, a Whopper to just a grilled chicken sandwich, because I understand that you're not always going to choose a grilled chicken sandwich. What we're trying to do here is we're trying to say, hey, how can we choose a better option of a similar food? McDonald's, double quarter pounder with cheese is a lot of calories, 770 calories. Compare that just to a double cheeseburger, which is still a good bit of calories, 430 calories, but it's significantly less calories. Now, something to note is the sodium in all these restaurants, fast food, sit down, are going to be very high. It's something you kind of can't avoid because a lot of these restaurants will add a lot of sodium to their food for flavor. Because flavor, at the end of the day, is the most important thing, whether it's healthy or not. So they're trying to make the food taste as good as possible, and salt tastes good. So that is something to keep in mind. Typically, we need about 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day, and a lot of these meals, eat into that a lot. The double quarter pounder with cheese is more than half. Even the double cheeseburger, not a lot of calories, but it's still a lot of sodium. And my tip for that is drink more water. Obviously, we don't want to eat out all the time. We're just going over the healthier choices when we do have to eat out. So Subway. Subway is typically known to be a pretty healthy fast food chain, but a lot of their sandwiches can pack a lot of calories, and these are only for 6-inch subs. A lot of people do go for the foot-long option. So on the left, you have the chicken and bacon ranch melt. Again, you have the bacon and the ranch and the cheese on the sandwich. Even if it is a grilled chicken, you're still adding a ton of calories by using the bacon and the ranch and the cheese. Compared to that, to the rotisserie style chicken, or even the grilled chicken sandwich with no cheese, you still might have a light dressing on there, but you can load that thing up with a ton of vegetables, and it's going to make you feel just as full eating the rotisserie style compared to the chicken and bacon ranch melt. It may not taste as good, but you could order 2 of the rotisserie style chicken subs compared to just the 1 6-inch sub for the chicken and bacon ranch melt. KFC, again, not typically a great place to eat, trying to eat healthier, and in this scenario, I am still leaving the fried chicken option because KFC does offer a grilled chicken, which is always going to be your better option, but I'm comparing realistic foods here where it's fried versus fried. In this case, I picked the chunky chicken pot pie, which actually uses grilled chicken in the pot pie, but the interesting thing is it uses a ton of cream, and that's what makes it so creamy and tastes really good. And that's almost 800 calories with basically your day's worth of sodium. Compare that to a fried chicken with a mashed potato and corn, that's only 540 calories. It is still a ton of sodium. Again, I would always opt that you pick the grilled chicken over, but I am doing a comparison here to show that you could still have your fried foods and keep it somewhat within reason. Also, the dish on the bottom is just going to fill you up more because it does have the mashed potatoes and the corn. So Pizza Hut. This is per slice. You have the Meat Lovers Pizza, which is definitely one of the heaviest pizzas that they have. Compare that to the Skinny Beach Pizza, which is actually kind of a new item. It's basically just your typical pizza, but they load it with a ton of vegetables, and it's a lot lower in sodium. And this is actually one of the best food items that I saw in my research as far as when you eat out. The calories are very reasonable, 200 per slice, compared to 460. You could eat 2 of the Skinny Beach pizzas and have it equal the same as the Meat Lovers Pizza. So now we're going to start with sit-down restaurants. So Applebee's, these menus are huge. So these are just kind of tips about what you could look for when you're eating out. So we have something like the chicken broccoli pasta Alfredo. Now, it is a grilled chicken and it does have broccoli, so it kind of sounds healthy, right? Wrong. It is loaded with cream, which is the Alfredo sauce, and it adds a ton of calories and a ton of sodium. So this is basically will be your child's calories for the day if they eat this. And for most adults, it's half your calories for the day. Compare that to the chicken frittata, which is, yes, it's a lot healthier of a dish. It's 440 calories. It still has a lot of sodium. Again, a lot of these places use a lot of sodium, but look at the fat comparison. You have 55 grams of fat for the pasta Alfredo compared to the 10 grams of fat in the frittata. That is a significant amount of calories. You could almost order 3 frittatas to equal 1 pasta Alfredo. So, try to avoid a lot of the sauces as much as you can. That's the stuff that really adds a lot of calories. Then you have Olive Garden. So I use these 2 comparisons to pork Milanese. The pork Milanese comes with a side of cheesy pasta. The reason why I use this, and look at that sodium, because that sodium is insane. The reason I use this is because I want to show that you could substitute here. So let's say, you or your child wanted the pork Milanese, you can maybe substitute the pasta out for something else, like a vegetable. That way you save a ton of calories in that sense. Or even if they just want the cheesy pasta and not the pork, you get something else instead. But then you could also opt for the much healthier option, which is a Venetian apricot chicken. It's just grilled chicken and a sauce with some vegetables. And it is, you can order 3 or 4 of these to equal 1 pork Milanese, which is kind of nuts. Then we move on to Outback. So Outback, they have the herb roasted prime rib, which is one of the highest calorie items that I saw. And this doesn't even include the fries that are shown in the picture. This is just for the steak itself. That comes with, that's 1,500 milligrams of sodium. Compare that just to a filet mignon, which is a lot smaller, but it's also a leaner cut of meat. You know, a lot of you are familiar with filet mignon. It's very tender, it's very low in fat, it tastes really good. Compare that to a very fatty prime rib. You could save a ton of calories just comparing, just eating the filet mignon compared to the prime rib. These are also ways you can cut back on calories. Certain cuts of meat are going to have a lot more fat than others. Even like your chicken breast, you know, pick white meat compared to dark meat, you're going to have a lot less fat in the white meat. Things like that you could do to really reduce calories. These are just some additional resources. The Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, eatright.org. There's a ton of information here you can go over. And then also the American Heart Association is really good about how you can keep fat low and eating out. Thank you.